Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday with Pastor Dan. Good to see you all, not see you all, but good to be sharing with you all. Today I got a little Mr. Rogers. He tells a little story here in my little book, The World According to Mr. Rogers. And he tells this story. A young apprentice applied to a master carpenter for a job. The older man asked him, "Do you know your trade?" "Well, yes, sir," the young man replied proudly. "Have you ever made a mistake?" the older man inquired. "Well, no, sir," the young man answered, feeling certain he would get the job. "Then there is no way I'm going to hire you," said the master carpenter, "because when you make one, you won't know how to fix it." I enjoy this little story because we have this innate desire or feeling or self-esteem issue or confidence or something that we have to appear that we know it all, we know how to do it all, we can't ever make a mistake. We have this knack or want to project perfection to the world, and well, if we were perfect, Jesus wouldn't have done what he did for us. I mean, that's just the long and short of it, right? If we already had everything figured out and we knew everything, then there's no reason for Jesus to do any of it, because we know exactly how to be good. We just do it. We wouldn't make mistakes, and bada bing, bada boom, we're out. But that's not the reality. So I don't understand, especially we Christians, I really feel this, is that we have to portray perfection to the world. There's the old line that someone says, "Well, I don't want to join the church because the church is full of hypocrites." Well, there's room for one more. We try to make church and faith about being perfect, about never making mistakes, about finding the capacity to just portray perfection. The Bible story is, there's the Pharisee and the tax collector, and the Pharisee prays the long prayer, "God, I'm just so great, and I've done this, and I've done that, and look at me, I'm so good, and I'm definitely not like this tax collector." And the tax collector simply says, "God, forgive me, I'm a sinner." Truly, one of them is right and one is wrong, Jesus says, and it happens to be the one who's willing to say, "I'm the sinner." We hide behind a false sense of perfection and knowledge, that we have all the answers and we know all the things and we do all the right things, and that's it. Paul says in Corinthians, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge makes people arrogant, but love builds people up. If anyone thinks they know something, they do not know as much as they should know. But if someone loves God, then they are known by God. It's a funny little word, love. There's a difference. Our knowledge, our fear, unwillingness to make a mistake or appear to make a mistake, we miss the point quite often. It interests me or terrifies me or whatever it is that we always have to seem perfect. I feel like the first sermon a pastor should give when they get in the pulpit for the first time is to say, "Listen, I'm going to screw up. I'm going to hurt. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna say something. And we're gonna do that back and forth a bit, because that's the reality of who we are. Maybe some of the most dangerous things we can do is to think that we know it all, or try to perceive or portray that we know it all and that we're practically perfect. We've got this Mary Poppins mentality for the world, or for the world to see. But at the end, maybe we won't get hired. Some of the greatest things I've ever done have been because I made a mistake, because I did something wrong and I learned. You learn how to do something quite often by doing it wrong first. Musically hitting the wrong notes. Your fingers don't quite touch the right chords or the strings to make that chord, and then eventually you keep practicing it, fixing the way it's done wrong, until all of a sudden it becomes second nature and it's right. But then there's a whole other thing to worry about, and you're doing that wrong. The greatest athletes, the greatest musicians, those people that we call the greatest, would say that they're not done, they're not complete, and they're not perfect. They have so much more to do and to go and to learn. We could take a little lesson in humility, because it says those who think they know are arrogant, or knowledge makes people arrogant. Maybe a little humility and a lot of love. We can learn that we don't have to be perfect or portray perfection for anyone. We can confidently make mistakes and try to learn and grow. May you all be blessed. Look forward to seeing you soon.